What is up, friends? Man, it has been a minute. Took a little bit of the summer off, got some good things going on. Super excited to share with you just really briefly about MyFi, the podcast, and everything that we're doing, kicking off this new season of the podcast, and have some incredible episodes lined up and all that sort of stuff. Let's get into it. I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, here we are. I'm excited about this. It's a new season of the podcast. We're going to kick it off this fall. Got some great guests lined up. We got a new episode coming up next week. We got 2 or 3 already lined up and in the can for the next few weeks, and some great guests that we're lining up for the rest of the fall. And I'm super excited. Over the course of the summer, I took a few weeks off, had some great episodes you need to go catch up on. Early in the summer, and then took a couple of months off just to kind of get my brain around what is this podcast moving forward. And I've had a blast talking to people about the music that's influenced and inspired them, and just records that people love and what music means to their life and all that sort of stuff. We've had people on the show who were photographers and entrepreneurs and graphic designers and filmmakers and animators and obviously songwriters and musicians and bands and all sorts of stuff. And we always get into these conversations about more than music. We end up talking about the creative process. We end up talking about creative rhythms, even like how people make stuff, and whether that's more discipline or more passion or whatever that looks like. And we've had conversations about creative people's insecurities and imposter syndrome. And we've talked about how hard it is to try to learn how to pay your taxes as a creative entrepreneur, and whether you're in like a digital media thing. Maybe you create websites or brands and marketing, or maybe you're in the music realm like I am, a producer, a songwriter, an instrumentalist, an artist, whatever. Creative people, we all need each other. We all learn from each other, and finding clarity as a creative person is what MyFi is all about. The name MyFi actually came from, it's not lo-fi or hi-fi, it's MyFi. And so lo-fi or hi-fi in recording speaks to fidelity. It speaks to the clarity and the quality and the faithfulness of a recording to the original version of that recording. And that's what MyFi is just it's your clarity, it's your quality, it's your faithfulness to who you are and what you want to do as a creative person, and how you find that, I think, is really important. Throughout my life, I have been a coach, a leader, a mentor to loads of different creative people across all different disciplines. And part of what I do now as a living is coach and consult with creatives and creative leaders and creative organizations and businesses and entrepreneurs. And I just think it's fascinating getting into people's processes, how they create what they create, why they create it, what they do when they deal with the inevitable struggles of, maybe they're not feeling inspired, or they're feeling a little insecure, or they're not around the right creative community, or maybe they're just trying to figure out how to break into a particular industry. All those conversations really help and encourage each other. And that's what I want MyFi to be moving forward. We're still going to talk about music. We're going to talk about all the things that our guests have going on. We're going to have a great time, tell life stories, talk about your first concert, your first record, your favorite records, all those sorts of things. But we're also going to purposefully dive a little bit more into the creative process, rhythms, experiences, stories, how people are making things, so that this podcast becomes a place where we're all getting a more clear picture of what it means for us to be creative people, to make things, to be artists, and all that sort of stuff. And so I'm excited about moving into this new season. We got a new episode coming up just next week. Share the podcast with a friend. If you have a friend who's in the creative industry, or they're just a creative person, they're an entrepreneur, they're into branding, marketing, they're into obviously music. A lot of what we do is going to be still interviewing musicians, songwriters, singers, artists, instrumentalists, producers, all that sort of stuff. But just like in the past, we'll have entrepreneurs and people who are great at marketing, and label heads, and all sorts of graphic designers, animators, filmmakers, all those sorts of things, all those sorts of disciplines will be represented on the show. We're super excited about that. So tell a friend, share the podcast with them. Make sure and go follow on social media. We're at MyFi Podcast everywhere. Subscribe on Apple, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, wherever you're at. And just sharing the podcast and getting it out is a big focus for me in this next season of the podcast. And when I tell you we've got some exciting guests coming up, we've got some exciting guests on the calendar already that I'm super excited about interviewing and just talking about how they built what they built or create what they create, and their different processes and rhythms and all that sort of stuff, how they see their creativity and how they make things and contribute to the world. And we're all going to learn together how to do that better. And so it's going to be awesome. Make sure to tune in and listen. You can also check out the new website goes up this month, myfipodcast.com. It's there. All the episodes are there. We're just going to be freshening up some things and making things a little bit easier to find and subscribe to and all that sort of stuff from the website. So make sure you got that bookmarked somewhere, myfipodcast.com. And yeah, I'm just excited. So share the podcast, send somebody this YouTube link or Spotify link to this little teaser episode. And I can't wait to jump in to season 2 next week with you guys here on MyFi Podcast. So till next time, man, you guys have a good one.